Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, welcome to the End FGM live show. This is Jeremiah Kipainoi once again. This is another beautiful week starting off today. End FGM live once again. Laikipia County is where we are at today. The land of the big mountain, they say, overlooking the plains, the lush plains of Laikipia. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's another amazing day where we'll be having also amazing journalists. Joining us today are guests from Laikipia County, representatives of CSOs, as well as from the government's side as well. So thank you very much for joining us again. It has been a week where more cases of corona have been reported in different parts of East African countries and of course different parts of the world. And so today we will be talking with the panelists, and we will just be talking about what has been happening in regards to the corona pandemic in the counties of residence and how their activities have been affected, and most importantly, how they are coping with it. Remember, this show comes to you every Monday to Friday from 5:30 p.m. to around 6:15 p.m. with panelists from the 22 hotspot counties in Kenya. Laikipia County, as you might know, is predominantly or indigenously occupied by the Maasai people, but now most of it divided towards Nyahururu and also Nanyuki. Most metropolitan places there occupied by different communities according to how the county was subdivided. Thank you once again for joining us today. It's going to be quite a show today with amazing panelists, as I had said, from different parts of this country. So I'm just going to go straight as usual to our statistic, but always remember that you can comment on whatever you're watching this show from, be it on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitter, and your comments will stream on the screen as you can see here. All right, so straight on to our statistics. As you can see on your screen, 200 women and girls have undergone FGM, the ones who are living today, in 31 countries worldwide. That's where you find FGM being practiced. And Sudan is the latest country to illegalize FGM, according to UNICEF data. And 21% prevalence of FGM in Kenya. 7 out of 10 girls have been circumcised by a traditional kata. 8 out of 10 women have been circumcised by a traditional kata. That's according to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey 2014. Laikipia County, today featuring still the Maasai community, 78% prevalence of FGM. We'll see what other communities are living in that area. And according to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, that's the statistic given to the Maasai people living in Laikipia County. Issues we'll be talking about is county support and how genuine people are on this campaign. Remember, we'll be hosting Samuel Onsarigo, Karen Kiogora, and Josephine Ndirias, who has already joined in this chat. Short break. When we come back, we'll introduce our guests as we go on. Remember, comment, tweet, or leave your comment on Facebook or YouTube, and it will always pop on this screen. We'll read and we will appreciate. The guests will also answer any questions that you have. All right, let's get on now for a short break, and when we come back, we will introduce the guests.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we're back, and we had promised you that when we do come back, we will introduce our guests. For now, we have one guest on board, Josephine from Laikipia as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll just be bringing you to the screen in a moment. Josephine runs the Mokogodo Empowerment Program. She'll tell us more about that. And she's joining us from Laikipia as we speak. Thank you very much for joining us today. Josephine, as you are now on the screen, you're live. Small brief about yourself before we start off. Where are you talking to us from as we speak in Laikipia County? You're muted, Josephine. All right. Try to unmute yourself. All right, now you are unmuted. Karibu sana, Josephine. We really do appreciate having you here today. All right, where are you reaching out us from today?
Yeah, my name is Josephine, calling from Laikipia.
Laikipia County. In which part of Laikipia?
Laikipia North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate having you here. We are still expecting other guests, Josephine, just in case you're wondering if you're alone here today. We still have other guests coming along. We still have Karen from the gender department, and also we have Samuel Onsarigo, who is also from Laikipia County, and we'll be talking about different issues in that regard. As you know, it's a challenging time when people have to beat curfew, so I think we have to start off, and as they come, we will be able to continue with them. Samuel Onsarigo, I Choose Life Africa is his name and his organization. Remember that you can always reach Josephine Ndirias on Facebook as Josephine Ndirias, and she's the director of Mokogodo Girls Empowerment Program. Thank you very much for joining us. And just a small brief about Laikipia County. Where are we located in Laikipia? If you were to look, because we are talking about the equator, and we know that Laikipia is the home of, they say the equator goes through Laikipia County. Where in this county, or in this country, is Laikipia County, if you would describe it, Josephine?
I think Laikipia County is it's a big county, I may say so, and it is divided in three. Yeah. And the big part of it falls next to Central, but the upper part of it goes to northern part of the northern part of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think around Laikipia East toward some part of Laikipia West goes around the Central.
All right. We know that Laikipia was predominantly known, at least for most of the people who know Laikipia, was predominantly occupied by the Maasai people, the Laikipia people. But now it's much more metropolitan. A small background about the people of Laikipia. Who lives there right now?
It's unfortunate to say that Laikipia, initially probably it was owned by the Maasai, but currently the Maasai who are in Laikipia, they are marginalized. The community is so marginalized, and that's why even FGM as an issue is being marginalized, because the Maasai people who live in Laikipia, they are in Laikipia North. And to be honest, it's just halfway of Laikipia North. So, I don't want to be tribalistic, but we are so small, we are so minor. We are the minority in that county.
All right. Yes. And is there any other community that practices FGM in Laikipia County, if you are speaking about the statistics that KDH has provided?
Yeah, I think, in Laikipia North, we also have in one ward that is called the Social ward, where we have some pokot, but like very few people.
Yeah.
But the majority are the Maasai, and they're the people who are practicing FGM. But I realized like last year we had an incident in Social, which is a ward in Laikipia North. They also have some pokot, and they're practicing FGM.
All right, thank you very much. For those who are listening and watching from wherever they are, I can see your comments streaming on your screen, as you can see from your side as well. I see Julia Solekuyoni says watching and following. I see Asenad Madiga on Twitter says tuned in. On Facebook, Helen Gadogo says, hi Josephine, I'm tuned in. Do it, girl. So more coming in. Community Development Officer, I don't know who that is, says happy to join. Please leave your comments as we keep on going with the show. More of our panelists are still joining us. As soon as we are able to find them, then we will be able to bring them on air. Straight to today's topic. We're talking about Laikipia, FGM in Laikipia County. As you know, it's in the central part of the country. Mostly, it's quite metropolitan, but the indigenous Maasai people and also the Pokot, as you have just said, still practice FGM. COVID-19, as you know, it's a very expansive county. So COVID-19 has been a major issue in trying to see that the girls are not finding themselves in trouble at these difficult times. What has been done? What has been done by the county, and also you are running Mokogodo Girls, to try to just combat the pandemic? Josephine.
I think since the closure of schools in Laikipia, the FGM has become rampant. So though for the last I think 2 years, you can never have an evidence that FGM is happening.
Yeah.
Because initially, FGM was like a big celebration. It's something that you will realize that is going to happen in that homestead.
Yeah.
But I think there is a lot of change of norms in the community. They do it under the carpet. Mm-hmm. And now that having the restriction of movement, even people visiting each other's homestead, it's really very difficult to identify that it's happening. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, we have an issue with most of our chiefs, because I tend to believe they are the people who could be in a position to identify things that are happening on the ground. Because, we don't have evidence that these things are happening, but because of change of norms, they have been doing it under the carpet. I will not be surprised that these things are happening, and I don't think there is much we can do now.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. We do appreciate. Now, we know that there are measures that have been taken by the county government of Laikipia in regards to trying to cushion people on this corona pandemic, and they were on social media and also in the news. But is it really impactful what measures have been taken at this time, especially to your work?
I think the restriction of movement, mm-hmm. and the closure of school. Like now, look at as big as even the rescue center has been closed, so all these girls are back home.
Yeah.
And so I think in a positive way, it is going to save the people to follow the restriction given by the government, because there is a lot of minimum movement.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it might impact these girls in a way that they are so open for, to be subjected to all these cases.
Yeah.
And so what we will learn what's really happening.
Yeah.
And I think 2 weeks ago we had a meeting with the county CEC for gender, and we were proposing we really need a system to how do these people on the ground need to communicate.
Yeah.
Could we have a rescue call number, something like that?
Yeah.
Until now we have not really get into agreement with that, but we are working on that.
So you're asking for a toll number at this time so that you can be able to have much more feedback easily and be able to monitor cases on the ground.
Yeah, and we are talking about a county toll number because we are looking at like 1195. Sometimes it's so engaged almost every time you try and call.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are talking about a county number,
Yeah.
and that county number we use like a radio station and talk about and let these people know that in case you are in a situation that you need to be safe, could you call this number? And we could ideally try to use like the local radio stations.
Yeah. All right, perfect. I think we'll just head on to social media. More people joining in. I see Helen Gadogo says Laikipia County, especially northern part of Laikipia, is predominantly occupied by the Maasai, Samburu Pokot, the Robos, Boranas, Yako, and Turkana. Apart from Turkanas, all the rest practice FGM. All right, that's what Helen Gadogo says. She'll be on this show tomorrow as well. Alimatu Dimonokene also joined. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate having you here today. Short break. We'll come back and we'll add one more guest, Helen, and we'll add one more guest, Karen, and when she comes on the screen, we'll be able to ask much more pertinent questions in regards to the children's department in that county. Please keep on commenting, and your comments will stream on this screen, as you can see, and you will be able to have much more engagement. Ask questions, and our panelists are also here to answer. Remember, use the hashtag #EndFGMLive, and we will be able to leave a mark in regards to ending FGM in this county. Short break, and when we come back, we will go on with more of our panelists.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EndFGMLive. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back once again. Thank you very much for joining us. As I said earlier, this is the End FGM live show, trying to still add our guests on board, but still some technical problems on that side. Once we are able to do so, we'll bring in Karen, who represents works also with the county government. So thank you very much for joining us. Keep the comments coming in, and I can see and read them at this time. On the show now is Josephine, who runs Mokogodo Girls Empowerment Program, which really do appreciate having you here today. Laikipia is a vast county, metropolitan, as we had earlier said, and we are trying to get more and more people to join into this panel. But before we do so, the girls have been, most of the schools have been closed. Actually, all the schools have been closed, and safe centers have been closed as well. How is that affecting us, Josephine? How is that affecting you, the fact that they are closed?
You find like, especially the schools, like our program, we work in Laikipia and Isiolo.
Yeah.
And you with the restriction of movement, like I mean, even if you are not even restricted, you are like scared even of using a public means.
Yeah.
This place, and also like there is this phobia in the community, like that these people from town are the people who have this coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's not actually the community.
Yeah.
So you went, like when you go to the ground, people are like scared, and you know, so definitely they are affected because our movement to the ground are so limited.
Yeah.
And secondly, these issues, I really personally suspect a lot is happening.
Yeah.
And nobody is telling us what's really going on the ground.
Josephine, when you say you suspect that a lot is happening, then there are many things that might actually be happening in this regard. All right, I think we lost Josephine in that regard. Just going straight to the comments on Facebook as we also try to add them. We have more people joining in. Thank you very much for joining in from whatever platform you are. I see Alimatu. Thank you very much for joining on. Keep bringing in the comments on the screens, and we will be able to keep them streamed on the screen. We are having a few technical challenges, but when we come back, we will be able to have this conversation in a much more stable environment. I see Abby Serimon joining in from Facebook. Thank you very much for joining in. We do appreciate having you here. Please remember to leave your comments. She says, good job, Jeremiah Kipainoi and team. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. Please keep your comments coming, and we will definitely keep it streaming as it comes our way. All right, so I'll just keep on adding our guests. Please leave your questions as they come in, joining us live from Laikipia, and we will be able to stream them in. All right, so we have had issues in Laikipia before where we are looking at different people who are quite marginalized with the cases being very remote. We have a very vast land, and sometimes monitoring these cases is very difficult. As Josephine has just told us, sometimes it's also very difficult for them to monitor the situation at this time because movement is restricted, and the community is also very is suspecting everyone. So it's important for people to know how to deal with this at this time. All right, keep the questions and the comments coming in. I'll be able to read them as soon as they pop here. Remember that you can leave them on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Today we're having guests from Laikipia, and also tomorrow, that's scheduled. We had so many guests from Laikipia, but we are having technical challenges because of a connection from that side. Still trying to connect them back, and when we are able to, we'll be able to get back on air with the entire team. Keep the comments coming, and I'll be reading them as they come. Thank you very much for joining us, Sironka Emmanuel. Asante sana, we really do appreciate having you here. Raquel Nchana, I also see you. Karibu sana. Abi Serimon, I see you. Please leave a comment, question, whatever you have, and we'll be able to read them on air live as we go on. Short break. When we come back, we'll be trying again to bring our guests back on air, and we'll be able to continue with this show. Meanwhile, we just go straight to our statistics after this short break, and we'll be able to see if we'll be able to enjoy our guests. Stay where you are.
Tune in to the FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, thank you very much again for staying with us. This is the FGM live show. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, still trying to add our guests, but good news, we have Josephine back here. So it's her field day today, having an opportunity to just share what's happening in Laikipia. We're really grateful that you're able to join us at this time. We understand connection challenges sometimes happen, but really do appreciate that you are able to still stick around despite the challenges that are happening. As we said, remoteness sometimes really affects our girls, because just if connection is difficult where they are, then imagine how far and how sometimes remote girls feel when they are trying to seek help or try to contact any person who is responsible for helping them in case they are in trouble. So Josephine, I'll just add you straight to the screen as we still try to add more guests on the show. And for the ones who are watching us, just remember that we are streaming live from Laikipia County today. Small background that about Laikipia is it's in the central part of the country. And today we are expecting Samuel Onsarigo from still Laikipia, Karen Kiogora, and Josephine Ndirias, as you can see them on the screen. And we have statistics. 200 million women and girls have undergone FGM living today in 31 countries worldwide. Sudan is the latest country to illegalize FGM. 78% of the Maasai people, as the statistics were put before, Maasai people in Laikipia North are predominantly indigenous, that part. So, and we were talking about the challenges that people face, and we're talking about county support and, as they had put it, hypocrisy, that people saying that FGM is not practiced. Is that true or false? Now on the screen is Josephine, and she's going to clear the air on that. Is FGM happening in Laikipia? Yes, you said it does, but why do people say that, Josephine?
Okay, as you know, FGM was, it was a cultural thing that is done by the Maasai.
Yeah.
But I think for the last few years, we have really done advocacy on that.
Yeah.
Like I actually, for example, I think we did a strong advocacy on 2016 and 2017 that actually led to a ceremony that the elders came out to break the curse. Mm-hmm. That because initially the Maasai used to believe that a girl who is not cut is cast in the Maasai community. Uh-huh. So the elders came out strongly and break the curse. And to me, that was like an opening. It was a chance for everybody to welcome this girl and support her to go through the card. Yeah. Because, and also, what really is pushed as much as we did our advocacy, our brothers has brought women from other communities practice FGM, and they are married to them, and they have children, and they have not seen any scenario. Yeah. So these are like, how do we keep on casting our girls? Yet these boys, they're becoming stubborn. Go and come with other women.
Yeah. Yeah, and just before you go on, that's a conversation that many people have been having for quite some time. Many have been saying that women from the community sometimes lack husbands because the boys then want to go get uncut girls. A small conversation around that because it's something that I've heard from different Maasai communities. Why? Did you hear that, Josephine?
Hello.
Can you hear me? All right, Josephine, can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you
very clearly.
Can you hear me now? Yes, we are.
So what I was saying is that, and they did such a big declaration coming out openly and saying, they actually, I remember very well because I was the person who coordinated that event. I remember they were saying, we didn't really understand why, the impact of the FGM, but now we understand. Yeah. And we are saying, they are blessed. These girls who will not go through the cut, they are blessed. Yeah. But now, under the carpet, you hear stories of people still subjecting their girls. Yeah. In the name of, it is going to make them marriageable, for God's sake. So, and you find like these girls, they are like, they will be told, you will be cast. There are still those fishy stories. Yeah. So I will say strongly that we have people who have come out and they say they will not subject their girls. And to an extent, we even have girls from that community who are already married without going to cut. So I can't really say nothing is happening. I could see a lot of change. But we still have some people who are doing it under the carpet. To reason, I don't know why. Right. Because if we go for an event and you ask people, you are still doing it, and they're like, no. Mm-hmm. So you wonder, why are they doing it under the carpet?
Yeah. But is it confirmed that are there any cases that have been reported in that regard? Like there are some girls that were subjected to FGM either during this time of this pandemic or earlier, especially during this break. Did you hear me, Josephine?
No.
Yeah, I'm saying, but is there evidence that is being done in regards to girls being cut during this time or even at another time before this pandemic?
Yeah, I will say it is happening because, I come from that community. So whenever sometimes I'm in in other events, you just find, somebody, that family subjected, they do it in a smart way. Like there was a scenario of girls that were cut like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Then they come out strongly and fight people, and they did a celebration, and they were saying, nowadays there is no cutting girls, and people actually came out and celebrated. But they had already done it.
Yeah. So they say
it is really happening.
So they say they did not cut the girls, then bring people to celebrate, yet they had cut them.
Yes, they did it long time ago, because even if you attend that celebration, you will find these girls playing with you, and they are strong enough to walk.
Yeah.
So they did it earlier, as per the family people can always tell you, they did it, and so it's really happening.
All right. Quick question, because you missed this. We've had a situation where the Maasai Morans say that they will not marry girls from that community because they have been cut, and they go marry girls maybe from other communities, and this is a topic that has been discussed among the Maasai in Narok, in Kajiado, and I've also heard that in Laikipia. Why is that? There is a community that supports FGM, but also some people in that community then bring in people from other communities that have not been cut.
And to me, I think the only thing that will help us, yes, that is true, it is happening, and I think the only people will help us are men. These men, young men, need to come out and say, we will not marry girls that are cut. Because one, these mamas who are doing this cut under the carpet, they are doing it to make their girls marriageable. But I ask myself, to who? If not for these young men.
Yeah.
So these men need to come out and say, no, we don't want this cut.
All right.
And that is the reason why you could see, if you go to that community, you find 20% of these young men, they are married to girls from other communities.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, these mamas who are subjecting their daughters to this cut, who will marry them?
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much. Short break. We'll come back, and we will be talking about the role of the government in this, because we've been talking about that. Still haven't had our guests who were supposed to talk about that, but we might just have a small chip in as we also try to add Samuel in the call. Then we'll see how this goes. Still, for the listeners and the viewers as well, please remember that you are able to leave your comment online on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube using the hashtag NFGM Live. You will be able to come to the screen and we will be able to see your comments as they stream in live. All right, so we will just pop out, and when we come back, we will be talking about the role of the government in this campaign. Asante sana. Remember, this is the NFGM Live, brought to you by Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, our producers, and I, your host, Jeremiah Kipainoi.
Tune in to the NFGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NFGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back once again. Remember, this is the NFGM Live, and we are with Josephine from Mokogodo Girls in Laikipia County. We do appreciate having her here today. Our guests are unfortunately not able to join in from different parts. We have Samuel Onsarigo, and we also have Karen Kiogora, who have not been able to join in. Samuel Onsarigo is from I Choose Life Africa, and Karen Kiogora is from Laikipia County the gender office. So sorry for not being able to connect with them. We're still trying our best to connect them, but we're still going to go on with more and more questions towards Josephine, because she's also been working with this government and also organizations in different aspects in Laikipia County. So once again, karibu sana Josephine. Really do appreciate having you sticking around on this broadcast today. All right, so straight to it. The government, what has it done in Laikipia in regards to FGM?
I think, as I said earlier, the people who practice FGM are marginalized.
Yeah.
And I want to say that even the issues FGM has been also marginalized in Laikipia.
Yeah.
Like there was a day we had an event and I was going to look for somebody to talk from the office of the ODPP, and this guy was telling me, "You mean FGM exists in Laikipia?"
Yeah.
So we don't even know. So ideally, I don't think the county government is doing much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have gender, GBV,
gender-based violence, gender-based violence,
like rape.
Yeah.
But now, the FGM is a serious thing. It's something that is being practiced strongly in Laikipia.
Yeah.
But I don't think the county government is doing anything. But I think the national government, we have had a lot of support from the anti-FGM board.
Yeah.
We have pressed a lot of our events when we do, and they have even supported us. So, that is the support we got from the government.
All right.
From the county government, we don't have support from them.
And have you tried to reach out to the county government?
Yeah, we have, and we have even invited them to our event, but not successful. Though now we have Karen, who joined the county government, I think last year, and she at least attended our event, and she is with us.
Yeah.
Now I think there is also another docket of the CEC's office for gender. We really need to come in and address this.
Yeah. So we are still trying to add both of them on this call, Samuel and Karen, as we bring this to a close. Just a very brief moment, then we will be wrapping up. But we've been talking about the government and what it is doing in regards to ending FGM in Laikipia. Remember that Laikipia is found in the Laikipia is found in the central part of Kenya, and in the central part of Kenya, and we've had different people working in different organizations and also different capacities in the End FGM campaign, trying to just make sure that everything is working as it should. All right, so I'm trying to add them. If we're not successful this time, then we will just jump off and we will go on with the show. Remember that today we have Josephine from Mokogodo Girls, as well as Karen joining in. Karen, can you hear us? Karen, can you hear us? All right, so this I think we just have to go on with Josephine to the end of this show. She community development officer says we've done a lot of the anti-FGM campaigns around the Saba areas, but I still feel that it's being done under the carpet. The challenge is that no one wants to speak up. He also says, I agree with Josephine that the boys need more education to support the girls. My name is Paul Naipotari. Kbet said, what is the range of ages of the girls who ran away and were living in safe houses? Some of these safe houses are being closed. Josephine, what ages do these girls? What is the age of these girls mostly? What's the range?
So, as I said earlier, there is a lot of change of norms because initially girls were going through the cut at around 15 and above.
Yeah.
But since this thing started of it's illegal, they are now doing it as early as 8 years.
Yeah.
So and you find like an 8-year girl will not even have in mind to say like I need to run away, because the mama even before doing that there is a lot she has like tormented her, like if you do this and this will happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the age now is 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. FGM during FGM, basically gender-based violence during the COVID-19 has skyrocketed in some areas and some regions, also in many countries in this world at this time, because people are not very accessible. The government is most governments are actually concentrating on COVID-19, and most of the communities are isolated. Children are now back at home, and schools are closed, little monitoring being there. What do you envision? What do you see in the next few weeks in regards to just violence against girls in Laikipia County?
I think my opinion has been, and it lives to be, that this is the high time we make what I call household initiative. I mean, people to take an household initiative, make decisions, good decisions that favors your children. This is my child.
Yeah.
Because I think another thing that is affecting us is for people to be slaves of our own culture.
Yeah.
I mean, you are doing it simply because the culture state. But my point is, can we, as the Maasai people, this is my child, and I'm not going to subject my child for that simply because that is how I want her to be.
Yeah.
And we protect our child, because I think this is the high time we need to make a decision on a household base. This is your child. If you make a decision, then another household and another household. That's when we come out as a whole community of living this violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe in the next 2 weeks, look at this now. Everybody is indoors. Everybody is supposed to stay in your own place.
Yeah.
So who is staying with their own children? It is the parent.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm saying it is a decision that people need, the parents or the household need to make a decision that this is wrong and I'm not going to subject my children, period.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Josephine, for that very insightful comment, and as well as pieces of advice from your side. Today we are in Laikipia County. For those who are watching us from different parts of the world, this is the End FGM Live, brought to you by Tony Mwebia, Antonia Sophia, and I, your host, Jeremiah Kipainoi. Laikipia County is in the central part of this country, Kenya. If you want to think about it in terms of the global, the big global picture, it's the county which the equator actually cuts across here in Kenya. Many counties as well, but that's where it's much more notable and known to many people. All right, so we just want to start wrapping up towards the end of start wrapping up with this show. Remember that you can always keep on commenting and interacting with this show online, and we'll be able to have a much more in-depth discussion as we are moving on. All right, so we are just going to bring this to a close right now. But remember that we will be live from Monday to Friday every single week, and we will be bringing you what's happening in Kenya, in different counties, especially the 22 hotspot counties for the next few 22 days. We'll be talking about what's happening during this pandemic. Today we've had Josephine from Mokogodo Girls, and just a parting shot from Josephine, or a piece of advice you'd like to give to people before we bring this to a close. Josephine, what's the piece of advice you'd give to End FGM campaigners during this pandemic?
Okay. I think I missed some of what you said, but I think my advice only is that as we always say to end FGM needs everybody to be responsible. We need the parents of these kids to denounce this practice.
Yeah.
And secondly, we need these young girls to be vocal. If you really don't want it, just look for a way to communicate and say, no, I don't want to be subjected to this.
Yeah.
And thirdly, I will urge young men to come out strongly and say that we don't want to marry young girls.
Yeah.
Girls that have gone through the card.
Yeah.
And that probably might change the minds of these mamas in the villages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Just seeing people joining in from different parts of the country and world as well. Just want to give you a shout out for joining in today. Kui Njoroge, karibu sana. Jackson Kanuni, asante. I also see different people joining in right now. George Masoon, karibu sana. We do appreciate having you in this show. Remember that we'll be live every single day from Monday to Friday on the NFGM Live, bringing you news from different counties on what's happening on the ground. And today we had Laikipia County. Tomorrow still we will be in Laikipia with different guests. So many who are willing to speak to us in regards to Laikipia. We know that predominantly it's the Maasai who are indigenously inhabitants, but now they are living mostly in the northern part. So we will still have conversations about Laikipia County tomorrow as we'll be able to get more guests. So sorry, today we are not able to have all our guests on board. We were supposed to have different people from Laikipia County, but unfortunately, due to technical issues, they were not able to join in. All right, so we want to bring this to a close, but always, as we always do it, I would like to give Josephine an opportunity to just share with you how you'll be able to reach out to them and probably learn much more about Laikipia County, or if you want to support them. Josephine, how do people support you or reach out to you if they would like to contact you?
Mokogodo Girls Empowerment, it's a community-based organization, and we have a Facebook page called Mokogodo Girls Empowerment.
Yeah.
We have email mokogodogirls@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And our website is www.mokogodogirls.co.ke.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate having you here today. This has been the NFGM Live, and we are really honored to have had you as a guest all through the show. Very good connection as well from your side. So thank you very much for also preparing very well for the show. Asante sana. We'll just bring this to a close till tomorrow. Please stay safe. Today we've been in Laikipia County. Tomorrow still we'll be sticking in the same county. Asante sana.
Tune in to the NFGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NFGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.